In today's video, I'm going to go over how to do an oil change on a 4-stroke Yamaha. It's not really that complicated. There's a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to show you two methods, and I'll show you my favorite method. So save yourself some money, follow along, and see how you can change the oil on your Yamaha 4-stroke outboard. Alright, but before we start, go ahead and hit the button and subscribe, and you'll get notifications when I put up new videos. Now, I mentioned that there's two methods. Here's the first method. You can use this drain plug right here. So here's the first method. There's a drain plug right here. You can see it's got a little bit of a rubber nozzle there. You would take that bolt out and the oil would flow out of here, and of course you got to put a drain pan underneath of it, catch it, and hopefully not make too much of a mess. They do advise that you change the gasket on this if you were to do the oil drain that way, but I'm going to show you an alternate method that actually is in the Yamaha maintenance manual. Alright, so what is the alternate method? And that's using one of these oil pumps. I just recently bought one of these, and I don't know how I've survived without it, to be honest with you. This thing is incredible. Puts a vacuum through assortment of hoses. I'll put a link to one of these in the description below as well. But it also comes with a hose that you can attach to your brake system. So if you wanted to flush the brakes on your car, you could do that with this very easily. There's a couple of things about this tool. You can run it with compressed air, or you can run it with a pump. Either way works fine. I've done it with compressed air, and it's kind of fun actually. I actually did a truck, Toyota Tacoma, with it, and it sucked all the oil out of it. It took a few minutes, but it was very clean. Then we finished the drain on the bottom just to make sure there wasn't any left, and lo and behold, there actually really wasn't, so it worked really well. Alright, so let's start by taking the cover off, which is always fun. So that way we can extract the oil through the dipstick tube. Let me show you, give you a close-up. Right in here, it's got a yellow tip on it. I think you can see that. That's it right there. So we're going to pull that out. Yeah, that's kind of nasty looking, the oil is. So let's set that aside, and then from the assortment of tubes that we have here, we're going to find the correct tube that will fit in the check hole. Actually, I can even go one thicker than that. Now, this tube does come with a wire or a small tube guide that has a wire in it. Probably not necessary. This one looks to be about 1/4 inch. Is going all the way to the bottom, which is exactly what I want. So let's take this out, and we got to check where we have oil. Now, what I will tell you is I started this engine up earlier. I ran it for about 5 minutes on a set of muffs just to warm it up and help the oil flow more freely. So let me show you what I'm going to do next. Got the pump. We're going to take this one out. This one gets connected. Get that out of the way. Then the top of this has a rubber connector, and I'm going to pull that off. So I pulled the rubber connector off of this, and we're going to stick it in here. Make sure it's bottomed out. I'm going to activate the pump. See the oil flowing. Now I'm going to make sure it's bottomed out, and it should flow until all the oil is out. Now this also lets you measure how much oil is in it. It's clearly marked in liters, which is great because the capacity in these Yamahas are specified in liters anyway. And I'll keep pumping it until I hear this, which means it's reached the bottom of the pan. There we go. Now, one of the things I like to do is hold this up in the air and pump it. Get all the oil, well, get as much of the oil out of the tube as possible. And of course, inquisitive me, I'll put my finger over it and then see if that helps get some more oil out. All right, so I'm going to disconnect this and put this back in there, and go ahead and store it. At some point we'll have to take this off and drain it, because I'm sure there's going to be oil collecting at the bottom. It does have a solid bottom, so yeah, I'm sure that'll have to happen at some point. I'm just going to wipe everything down and keep going with the rest of the oil change. We're going to do the filter next. Alright, so next is going to be the oil filter. I'm going to stuff a bunch of paper towels because there's bound to be some leakage. And let's first see if we can get this out. It's supposed to be hand tight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me get where you're at. Okay.
That only works when McGilla Gorilla didn't put it on. I'm going to try using this. See if we can get on it enough to at least get it started. This is crazy. I can't believe how hard that was to get off. There goes all the oil. Okay. So some of the residual oil, there's a little hole in the bottom of the cowling here, right above the drain. And that's some of the residual oil that's built into it is coming out here. I'm going to look into ways of preventing that. I think I know how. But for right now, for the purpose of this, we're just going to finish the oil change, and I'm going to put some oil on this seal. Oh, it's pre-greased.
I don't think you need to.
Interestingly enough, this has got grease on it already, so there's no need to I'm putting this on hand tight. Alright, oil filter's changed. Next step is going to be to fill it up with oil. 2 liters exactly for the F70. Look at the manual for your particular engine and you can see what the capacity is. But I'm going to show you a neat way of measuring exactly 2 quarts without eyeballing a oil container. So I'm going to take this oil fill plug out. And put a clean funnel in there. Now this is the neat part. Alright, so if you've done your own oil changes and you get these weird specifications like 5.2 quarts or something like that, it's always a pain in the butt to try to figure that out. I got one of these, I believe it's Lyle made this, and this will measure up to 8 liters. In this case you only need 2 liters, but what we can do is measure the oil exactly and then pour it into the engine. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. And if you can see that, it's at the 2 liter mark. So I'm going to put the lid back on, make sure this is tight, because oil spills of fresh oil suck. Alright, so now we're going to put it in the engine. I'm going to go slow because I can't see what's going on, but whatever you do, just take your time. Alright, we'll let all that pour in there. Alright, I'm going to check the oil. I'm actually going to start it to fill the... can I get that first? So it actually reads close to the top, which is kind of high, but that's alright. I'm going to start the engine, and so it circulates oil into the oil filter, and then we should get a better reading. Alright, so it's time to check the oil level. Let's see where it's at. That oil filter should be primed. So that's probably the 0.2 quarter. Makes up the liter. So it's actually right at the halfway point, see if you can see that. So I would consider that perfect. That was 2 liters for an F70, and that worked out pretty well. Now, before we sign off, there's a little trick that I've come up with that I'm going to use the next time I do an oil change. So let me show you that first. Alright, so here's what I'm going to try the next time we go around. I had this container. We actually cut this to scoop aquarium gravel when we're cleaning it. But just to get this underneath here, there's a lip that goes underneath the filter, and it supposedly, I guess, to capture oil, but then it drips down. But if we can get this underneath the lip and angle it down, the oil should flow into here. We have a lid, and then if we use that pump that we use to suck the oil out of the engine, we should be able to get most of the oil, or if not all of it, from leaking into the engine compartment. So we'll try that the next time around, and I'll probably do a short video just to see how it works. Might be this bottle, might be another one. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit share and like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.